Will a romance scammer come to my home? Most times, romance scammers come across romantic and sweet when they speak to you using their fake profiles. They spend days, weeks, months, and even years sending you romantic poems, songs, telling you how beautiful you are and how much you mean to them. Spending hours on the phone with you and asking about your day, have you eaten, and inquiring about how your family is, professing to love you more than anything in the world. They then ask you for money or gift cards, and when you respond to them with anything other than yes, and especially when you flat out tell them no, absolutely not, a lot of scammers will turn into the complete opposite of what they once were, and their true and genuine selves come out. Oftentimes, when a romance scammer puts all of his or her time into romancing you, they consider that work. When you refuse their request for money, this flips a switch in them, and more often than not, the threats start pouring in. Depending on your situation, some target victims of romance scammers have shared their real name, phone number, work and home address. Romance scammers will try and strike fear into you by making threats to come to your house or send people to your home or work, kids' school, and more. Let's take a look into various things romance scammers may be able to do and the reality of where your romance scammer likely is versus where you actually live. First off, keep in mind that nearly all of their threats are empty, especially ones who make threats to come to your home. The likelihood of them showing up at your home, while never zero, the probability is extremely low. In reality, many romance scammers work and scam from countries other than your own. Many of them live in places where they do not have a passport nor a travel visa to get on an airplane and leave their country, nor do they have the funds to purchase a ticket and travel to fly to your city or town or even your country. Many romance scammers who operate from their respective countries often aren't able to prove financial stability to even apply for a travel visa either. So when a romance scammer tells you that they'll be flying to your home to harm you, keep in mind those threats are meant to scare you. So what about scammers who sent me photos of my home and I've never shown them pictures of my house? Romance scammers will sometimes use another tactic to frighten their target victims. If you've given a romance scammer your address, many of them will go onto popular mapping sites, type in your address, and it's very likely a photo of your home will be on there. They will screenshot that photo, and sometimes they'll crop the photo and send it to their target victim, telling that person that they're outside of their home or they've been to their home. The reality is, they're simply searching your address online. Keep in mind, in the United States and other countries, photos of our homes are listed on real estate sites, even when they are not for sale. They are archived on many real estate sites, county and state tax websites, and of course mapping websites and EarthView sites. Don't let the fact that a romance scammer sent you a photo of your home scare you. Anyone can easily obtain a photo of any building, home, or apartment and more if they put in the effort and have the address so they can search online. How about scammers who have the money, do travel, or live in the U.S. or in other European countries? While yes, there are scammers who romance, scam, and operate in the USA, countries in Europe, Canada, Australia, and more, many of them simply are not going to waste the time or their own money to try and come to your house. Most times they make threats as a last-ditch effort to scare their target victim before moving on to multiple others they have on the hook who may send them money. The threats, while they might seem alarming, are a way to scare you into giving money and put a little fear into you. Are there romance scammers who might come to harm you? As I said earlier, the likelihood is low, but there are romance scammers who are affiliated with large criminal networks who have the money, the motive, the time, and the desire to cause harm. There are various cybercriminal groups who net millions of dollars a year romance scamming and use that money in various ways, including having people located all over the United States, Europe, Canada, Australia, and more. Who could possibly live near you? But in all the years we've been dealing with romance scammers and helping victims of online scams, It's been extremely rare that any target victim has had a run-in with their scammer in person. In fact, we've only come across one person in the over 10 years of helping romance scam victims that she thinks she may have encountered her scammer, and even then we had no proof other than her telling us she thought she saw him in her town. Again, the reality is most romance scammers are after money and gift cards. They're not going to waste their time, money, and efforts to come to your home. What they typically do is send you threats, and they're empty. Wait for you to react, and then move on to another person who they can victimize. And while this may sound harsh, you're not special to a romance scammer. Once you've refused to give them money or gift cards, you're just another number to them. And if they can't get what they set out to get from you, they simply move on. So if you receive any type of threat or intimidation from your online romantic love, simply block them. Block them from social media, block their messages, mark their email as spam, and ignore them. And if you have to, change your phone number. Even though you might want to react, the best thing you can do is block. Pretend they don't exist in your life anymore and move on. While the threats can be scary, keep in your mind's eye that they are just empty threats meant to strike fear, but in reality should make you strike that block button. Stay safe.